What's going on, Nerd Squad? I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and if you happen to be new here, we post daily nerdy content all for your enjoyment, so to never miss another video, make sure you tap that subscribe button and ring the little bell too if you want. The life of a superhero always has its ups and downs, but for the most part, they have a very busy schedule. Therefore, it's hard to imagine that they would be able to successfully raise a child. Some do a pretty bang-up job, and others, not so much. Before we get started though, leave us a comment down below with which superhero you think needs to retire forever, and while you ponder that, let's jump right into the top 10 superheroes with kids. In at number 10, The Incredibles. When Bob Parr and his wife Helen began their career as superheroes, there was no stopping them. That is until they had their 3 kids, Violet, Dash, and Jack Jack, who they raised in the suburbs of Metroville. Seeing as though both parents have superhuman abilities, their kids inherited their very own unique powers as well. As if raising kids wasn't hard enough already. Until the second Incredibles movie, the family wasn't too sure if Jack Jack had any superpowers, but it was confirmed that he may be one of the strongest amongst his family of supers. In at number 9, Reed Richards and Sue Storm. The adventures of Sue and Reed over the years have been limitless, which means they already don't have that much time on their hands. Although when it came to having kids, the pair took it quite seriously, even deciding to leave the Fantastic Four upon having their first child, Franklin. Franklin has been a bit of a problem child over the years, being that he is a mutant beyond the Omega level, and his abilities did not come like most superhero kids at the age of puberty either. In fact, when he was still a toddler, his vast powers began to manifest themselves. Additionally, the Richards family had a daughter named Valeria, and Valeria, interestingly enough, was given her name by the Fantastic Four's arch nemesis Dr. Doom. Due to Sue having difficulty with delivering her baby, they called in the doctor to help out, and all he asked for was the right to name the child. I guess we'll call him Uncle Doom now? I don't know. In at number 8, the Scarlet Witch and Vision. We watched this relationship blossom into something so wholesome in the MCU to the point that Vision even dressed like a dad. In issue number 12 of Vision and the Scarlet Witch, they're expecting a child, and it does come by the end of it, but not without some complications first. Upon delivering the baby, they were all shocked to find out that they wouldn't be the proud parents of just one healthy baby boy, but two twin boys they named Tommy and Billy. Unfortunately, this happy family didn't last very long. It turns out that the children were simply magical constructs that Wanda had created from pieces of Mephisto's soul. So when these pieces were returned to him, the kids were basically wiped from existence. Oops. In at number 7, the Flash family. Throughout the DC universe, there have been many that have upheld the Flash mantle and even fathered children. Let's just focus on the kids of Barry Allen and his wife Iris West Allen. In another curious case of twins, these superheroes became the parents of Dawn and Dawn Allen. Man, they can run fast, but they are terrible at picking names. The twins were soon dubbed the Tornado Twins, which pretty much describes all twins as kids. And later in life, the Tornado Twins would go on to terrorize more than just their parents though. These two, surprisingly enough, became supervillains. Good job, guys. In at number 6, the Hulk and his queen. This story begins with the Planet Hulk event, and what had happened was the Hulk had become too unpredictable to live on Earth, so the sort of like Illuminati that existed on Earth kind of lured him into this spaceship with the intentions of sending him somewhere that was just more peaceful. But where he actually landed though was a planet called Sakaar, which you'll remember was the main setting for the film Thor Ragnarok. After overthrowing the planet's dictator, the Red King, the Hulk takes Queen Kyra to be his wife. At least I think that's how you pronounce it, but we'll say Kyra for now. Unfortunately, while his wife was pregnant, the ship that the Hulk came in on exploded, destroying Crown City and killing Kyra. This obviously set off the Hulk, which then led into the World War Hulk event. It seemed as though his unborn child was also wiped out, but by the end of that comic book, we saw that on Planet Hulk, his son had sort of come into existence, so congrats Hulk, you're dad, yay! In at number 5, Scott Lang and Peggy Ray. Being that Scott is a superhero and Peggy is not, this was an interesting what-if scenario to watch play out. Not what if in terms of the actual comic book series, but just pondering the idea of what would that life be like in a relationship like that. When their daughter Cassie was born, she suffered from a congenital heart defect, and Scott, like any father in this situation, wanted to do anything in his power to save her. To do so, he stole Hank Pym's Ant-Man equipment and Pym particles to rescue the only man that he knew could save his daughter, Dr. Sondheim. And after the untimely death of her father, Cassie would later go on to follow in her dad's footsteps. She would join the Young Avengers under the name Stinger, and the rest is pretty much history. In at number 4, Aquaman and MERA. Hilariously dubbed Aqua Baby, Arthur Curry Jr. was the son of Aquaman and his wife MERA. Ergo, he was also the next in line to take the throne of the Atlantean royal family. Unfortunately, he was only able to go on a few adventures with his parents before Black Manta killed him. And additionally, both Aquaman and MERA have had other children, just not with each other. Aquaman has a son named Koryak with an Inuit woman named Keiko, and MERA had a son allegedly with Thanatos, who she kind of thought was Aquaman. It's weird. And regardless, the death of Arthur Jr. caused a massive ripple in this superhero relationship, making things between them never really the same again. But they're still parents. Superhero parents. In at number 3, Beast and Cecilia Reyes. Taking place in an alternate timeline, this X-Men relationship blossomed into something so great the superheroes ended up having 3 kids together. Not much is known about this alternate Beast mutant family, but what we do know is that the pair had 2 sons named Kieran and Miguel, as well as a daughter named Francesca. In fact, the only real appearances we get of this superhero couple's kids are at the beginning of X-Men The End Book 3 Volume 3. In at number 2, Steve Rogers and Rogue. Yeah, you heard that right. In an alternate reality, Captain America and X-Men's Rogue had a daughter named Sarah Rogers, who would become the superhero Crusader. Her birth, though, came about in a very peculiar way. First introduced in 1998 for the What If Volume 2, number 14, Sarah was born into a universe where the Avengers had left for Battleworld and never came back. Therefore, she was born into a new colony and a new civilization. There was also a bit of confusion with the birth of Sarah, because Rogue had recently drained Carol Danvers of her powers, and the comic book implied that without that, she wouldn't have been able to conceive. Some would even argue that Carol Danvers was actually her mother. I don't know, let me know in the comments below what you think. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Wolverine. This dirty dog. Damn. It's difficult to imagine old man Logan being a dad, but this lone wolf is actually the father of 15 kids. Maybe some more. That's all we can know for now. I suppose when you've been around for over a century, you're bound to meet a lot of people that you'd want to settle down with. Let's see, there's Dakin, X-23, Arista, Reyes, Wild Thing, Hudson Logan, Torrent and Miko, Brian and Mari, Krika, Jimmy Hudson, Scotty and Jade Logan, Cohen, and the list just goes on and on and on. And as I mentioned previously, all of his kids come from different women, with some of them not even being named in the comic books. It just says unknown woman. You're like, okay. It's also important to mention that Laura Kinney, also known as X-23, was a clone that Logan actually adopted to be his daughter. Although this semi-immortal mutant isn't going to win Dad of the Year anytime soon, he has killed every single one of his known biological offspring with the exception of Arista. I hope I got her name right. Hey, at least you're still alive. And that has been the top 10 superheroes with kids. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then show us some love here by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, leave us a comment down below saying, "You're not Amanda." And for more videos like this one, just click that playlist on the screen. From Top 10 Nerd, my name is Johnny Rogers, and until next time, take care.